fabric stash. Quilter flying colors splash. Pins and patches, stories grow. Stitching secrets we all know. Patchwork of laughter sewn in time. A spool of joy on every line. We chat, we sew, we laugh, we thrive. Stephen and Walter, our life. Sewing tales with every square. Buttons falling everywhere. A crooked seam, but who will care? Iron presses lined so neat. Friendships quilt can't be beat. Patchwork of laughter sewn in time. A spool of joy on every line. We chat, we sew, we laugh, we thrive. Stephen and Walter, our life. Sewing tales with every square. Buttons falling everywhere. A crooked seam, but who will care? Iron presses lined so neat. Friendships quilt can't be beat. Patchwork of laughter sewn in time. A spool of joy on every line. We chat, we sew, we laugh, we thrive. Stephen and Walter, our life. Our Stitch by stitch they weave the tale. A patchwork life where laughs prevail. Patterns clash, but who can tell? Quilted chaos suits us well. Stephen and Walter live on air. Threading humor, they don't care. Teaching, chatting, pulling strings. Life's a quilt of funny things. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around. It's a show where joy is bound. Stephen and Walter live on air. Threading humor, they don't care. Teaching, chatting, pulling strings. Life's a quilt of funny things. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around. It's a show where joy is bound. Stephen and Walter live on air. Threading humor, they don't care. Teaching, chatting, pulling strings. Life's a quilt of funny things. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around. It's a show where joy is bound. Pins and needles, jokes abound. Sewing secrets they have found. Fabric flying all around.
Okay, that was our lip sync kind of thing. It didn't work because I didn't put the music on. No, I forgot to turn on the microphone again. He saw it though. Okay, so now you should be able to hear. So if it looked like our mouths were moving, they were. Nothing was coming out. Yeah, which is not unusual for us. So I think everybody is. Let me just see.
Yeah, Barbara Olson says no sound.
Yeah, we know. Yeah, they're behind us by 20 seconds.
Okay, that was our lip
There it
sync
is. There we go.
thing. It didn't work.
Okay, there you go. You should be able to hear us now. So let's just see who's here. I hate it when this thing comes up on the computer. Get rid of that. Okay, let's go to the top. And who is number one? Oh, 3 guesses. First 12 don't count.
It's Russ.
It's Russ. And Russ says, "Hi, chat," as my, okay. Once tried to tell me, you can change, you can change, you can change. Yeah, but couldn't she change too, Russ?
Sorry, Russ, I didn't make it to your so day today.
Yeah, he doesn't make it to anybody's so day. You know, he has pressing issues happening. I don't know what he does up there. He stares at a computer screen. Just stares. Just stares. Okay, Barb is here. Hi, Barb. And Caroline is here as well. Phyllis. And Inez from snowy Newfoundland. I'm sure it is. Darcy is here. Hi, always just be yourself. Yeah, well, apparently myself is not good enough for some people. We'll come to that. Suzanne is here. Susan Blake is here. And Patty is here. Judy Vanderbroek is here. Good afternoon from sunny but cold Hamilton. Yeah, we were just looking at our temperature. We've warmed up today. We're at minus 15 C. When I got up this morning, it was minus 23 C.
Yeah, we're what, minus 15? You got minus 15?
I have minus 15 now.
Okay, minus 15, which is 5 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, it's balmy.
And
we can make ice cream.
Timmins is actually a degree warmer.
Yeah, that's hard to believe that Timmins is warmer.
All the hot air is moving out.
I guess so. And so Dubrovka's here. Ready to party, she says. Party hardy. Karen is here from rainy Vancouver, USA. Lynn is here from South Carolina. She says it's really cold there. So what's really cold, Lynn?
Cold? Can't be that bad.
Yeah, like what's really cold? Susan is here. Hello and happy Sunday. And everyone watching on YouTube. East Coast Kim is here from Nova Scotia. And Karen is here too as well. Bonnie is here. Now, Bonnie says it was freezing cold in Sudbury at minus 34 C this morning. So, Bonnie, was that with the wind chill or was that minus 34 just period, minus 34? Because that, either way, it's cold.
Ooh, it says it's balmy 8 degrees in South Carolina.
8 degrees?
That's shorts weather.
That's Celsius, right?
Yeah.
So that's 16, that's 46 degrees Fahrenheit. Oh my God, that's shorts and sandals. Yeah. But I know for you in Southern California or
Carolina.
South Carolina, that's trying to get it out, spit it out, rennet lips. I know that's probably cold for you guys. Sherry is here from sunny Montana, and Rachel is calling in from the evening from UK. Who sings this song? I'm a metalhead, yet here I am tapping my knitting needles to this tune. Well, nobody sings it that I know of. I wrote the song. Well, okay, AI wrote the song. I gave it the prompts. So yeah, that's how that was created. Pace is here. Says good afternoon, everybody. Betty is here. Yeah, Barb.
Still no sound?
Still no sound, Barb? There should be. It's coming out of my end. Maybe you're just late to the game on that one.
Well, Calgary's plus 9.
Not talking. I've lost my spot. It all bounced up. Barb said no sound. Right. Well, there is sound now, I think. Mary is here from Virginia. And Julie, of course, is here. And Cynthia is here. Good to see you too, Cynthia, on Russ's So Day today. Bunch of us are on Russ's So Day. So, yep, he had one today. If you missed it, you shouldn't have. His sewing shenanigans. We always have a good time. Betty says, finally got notice you was coming on, usually don't work. Yeah, the notifications on YouTube are hit and miss for some reason. I have the same pattern on other people's channels too, so it's not the channel, it's YouTube. Pam from Minnesota is here. Ivy G is here. I hope you don't change. Well, I'm not going to change in front of you. It's not that kind of show. Oh, thank you. Kim's right everybody. Hit the like button. Yes, please do. I don't say those things, but I'm going to be saying those things. So now Barb says right now in Calgary, it's +9. Would you believe we had a day last week that was +18? Yeah, that seems just sort of backwards. Usually you guys are in sub-zero weather when we're having that kind of weather. It's weird this year. Colleen is here. Hi, Colleen. And Maureen is here as well from Sydney. 22 degrees and raining. Well, except for the rain. Yeah, that would be nice. I'd like to be in Sydney right now, too. Susan says it's 65 degrees Fahrenheit in Denver. Wow. Let's go to Denver. Colorado. That's warm. Lynn says below freezing at night, but warms up during the day. Sometimes 30s in the 40s. Still balmy. Rachel says,
if we had that kind of weather now, we'd be wearing shorts.
Yeah, that's right. Rachel says, well, it's V catchy. Would like to hear it in heavy metal format. Oh, very catchy. That's what she means. Would like to hear it in heavy metal format. Not going to happen. I hate heavy metal. I'm more of an electronic kind of dance guy. Sue Norfleet's here. Hi, Sue. And Arta is here as well from San Diego. And Dubrovka says, now, if you move to Timmins, and we're not going to, you will have warmer weather and I will bake all the bread for you too. Well, okay, that's almost a good offer. There's only one other problem with that. It's Timmins.
Might they be able to, are your houses cheaper than they are?
Yeah, really. I wonder what the average house price is in Timmins compared to our area. Marilyn is here and Crocus is here. Watching from sunny 5 degrees C plus Regina. Again, another place we don't expect it to be that warm this time of the year. False spring here. Water's running. Oh, okay. Rachel says, spoil sport. Yeah, I guess I am. Sue says they're having Fool's Spring. 59 today. And she's in Missouri. And Russ says, Stephen hates metal. Makes note for the next time he steps away. Yeah, okay, Russ. I'm gonna change my smart device, as you would say, name. Russ likes to make my smart device do things when I'm away from my computer. Yeah. Today it was, I came down after lunch, all my lights were turned off, and it started to play some kind of music. Wasn't my kind of music. They're just also funny. It's 12 in New Jersey. Well, that's frosty. Houses are cheaper here. Yeah, I would imagine they are. As soon as you get out of the GTA, the Greater Toronto area, and prices drop.
Off the highway at locations.
Yeah, true. But it's still Timmins. I mean, nothing against Timmins, but that's just a little too rural for me. I'm a city boy, sort of. Did we say hello to Lynn? I don't know if we did, but we are now. And Johanna is here as well, Designing J. So we got lots of people in and coming here. So let's jump into, we could have shown you something Walter's working on, but he didn't work on it. His shirt. How far are you in that shirt now?
I have the sleeves in. I just have to, get my butt moving and do some more.
I would say so. Get the lead out. Oh, Johanna says it's 21 degrees in Maryland. That would be Fahrenheit. And Sherry Cook is here. Hi, Sherry. So, well, I'll show you what I've been working on. Now, I'm just going to give you a sneak peek. I'm going to talk about these in more detail on the Idiot Quilter. But, I like to show my things multiple times. So, there's this. It's small. They said it was a mini table runner, and they're not kidding. It is pretty small. It's an In the Hoop project. And don't look at it too close. It's okay. But I can see in this picture where there's a couple of joins that didn't match up. But that does happen sometimes. I'm not that worried about it. And this mess, actually, that's not the picture I want to show you, but because it's gotten a lot further, but that's okay. You can tune in on the Idiot Quilter on Tuesday, because these weirdo pieces are now all put together as a quilt. Orphan block quilt, of course. I did some weird things on it. And you'll see all that on the Idiot Quilter this week, and I'll talk about it then. No, they can't see it. It's not there. They'll have to wait till Tuesday for the Idiot Quilter for that one. Okay. Oops. So let's get, I didn't want to show that one yet. How do I get this down so we can see what we're doing? All right. So, oh, Mona's here. And, oh, sorry. Russ told me I wasn't sharing the screen. And where were you?
Oh, I don't know.
My co-producer here is not really on the ball today. Okay, this was what I was talking about. This is the mini table runner. Thanks, Russ, for letting me know. Oh, I'm telling you, some days. And as I said, I'll discuss this in more detail on Tuesday. And this is my orphan block quilt, which actually is all together right now, but I got the wrong picture here. So, but that's okay. Something to look forward to on Tuesday, and I'll talk all about this and what I've been doing with it and why it's so weird. And I don't want that. Okay, so everybody should have been able to see all of those things now. All right, let us go where we can see. And here we go. Teresa's here. Yeah. And the hi guys, major roads in southwestern Ontario are open again after 24 hours of blizzard conditions. So of course the sun is shining. Oh, okay. So I didn't hear that the roads had been closed for 24 hours out in the London area.
On Friday, it was really windy here, and we got a lot of drifting snow. So I imagine down in that area, you had really bad drifting snow.
Yeah. Well, they do get it worse than we do.
Yeah.
Too. So Lydia's here. Hi, Lydia. So anyways, that's what I've been working on. I'm working on something else, but I'm not showing it yet. The dollar store had something new we discovered the other day. And why are you doing this thing with your eyes?
What was the dollar store?
Dollarama. It's where
Yeah,
I got
I know. What did we get? I can't remember.
the thing that I've been on the embroidery machine all day. The portfolio.
Oh, that. Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. So I'm not going to say any more about that because that's a Tuesday thing that I'm going to have. Okay, so Bon is here and says it's a beautiful sunny day in New Brunswick. Inez says, wish the sun would shine here. Yeah, I'm sure you could use some sunshine on the rock. You're probably buried up to your shoulders in snow. And Betty Kennedy says she likes the table runner. Well, thank you, Betty.
It's cold here, but it's really nice and sunny, too.
Yeah, we went out for our walk today.
Yeah, it was -17 when we...
Yeah. But there wasn't any wind, so as long as there's any wind,
No.
it's okay. You can survive.
And but it was sunny, and it was kind of nice to go for a walk.
Yeah,
even
except
though it
for
was
the
cold.
part where people haven't shoveled off their
Yeah,
sidewalks
yeah,
yet.
yeah.
And now it's like sheer ice because it's been compacted down. We haven't had any fresh snow in a few days, in a week.
Well, no, we
Well, no,
got
we
some
got-
on Friday.
Did we get
but
Friday?
it was all blowing all
Well,
over
that
the
was
place.
more. That wasn't so much.
Yeah, but it was snow.
Oh, was it?
But it was blowing around all
Oh,
over the place.
okay. Well, whatever.
But we didn't get enough that it was weird when I went to shovel it because we had like snow. There wasn't a lot of it around. We didn't get a lot of it, but it blew all over the place.
When Walter does
when I
this,
went
that's
to-
his sign language.
When
for
I went
snow.
to shovel it, it was crispy.
Crispy.
It made, when you walk on the snow, it makes
No, it goes
crunchy
crunch.
noises.
Yes. Inez says, yep, I'm selling snowmen, some assembly required. Ooh, she's making a man, tall, lean, and frozen. And I know Russ will know where that reference comes from, and maybe some of the rest of you will know too, what I was referring to. And Russ will tell us in a moment. Kim says, portfolio. I saw them on a Zoom this morning. Maybe we'll get them in a week or so. Yes, they are like those bags that I did at Christmas, made out of the same material, but yeah, lots of potential for all kinds of projects. But again, that's Tuesday. Bon says, we don't have much snow here in New Brunswick this year, which I guess is kind of unusual there too. Well, you can have ours.
Yeah, we have lots this year. We have probably a little more than normal.
Susan says, we'd love some snow here. No snow in the winter means drought in the summer. Yeah, that I've heard that. You need it because of the moisture and everything. So yeah, and we don't need any more droughts anywhere in North America. I mean, everything's burns up in the summer. Um, so okay, so that's, and Walter's got nothing to show us. So announcements time first of all. Sewing with Stephen Wednesdays. You know the drill. Links in the show notes. So a little quickie review of the past week's video content. The vlog this week, I shared my latest 3D prints and we talked about Canadian Traitors. Yeah. Yes, it was a bit political, but the vlog is that.
Traitors or Traitors?
What's the difference?
Well, trade something.
Oh, not Trader, the other one.
Oh.
Traitors. But anyways, on Tuesday, the Idiot Quilter, I talked about the trials and tribulations of pattern writing. Yeah, as you've heard me say many times before, quilt math hard. And in the future, I am going to do something on the Idiot Quilter in a little bit more detail about writing patterns and what I have learned and what challenges there are for writing patterns. On So Chatty, we talked about creative challenges and how these can be inspiring. That was a topic that was submitted to us by one of our subscribers. And I did an interview this past week. Now, I have not done an interview in quite some time, and this was with Brian Parks of Parks Crafty Creations. Do check out the video and do check out his links, his social media. He's a relatively new quilter. In fact, I think, well, he's not a quilter. He is a sewist. He makes garments and costumes. He has a background in artistic design. He works for a company where he actually designs most of their graphic things for woodworking. But he has a very professional YouTube channel, and he makes me very jealous of it all.
He's located in Florida, right?
He's in Florida, yep. But do check out his channel. He's only had the channel up for a year and he's doing very well. He's already got over 5,000 subscribers, so you might want to add yourself to that number as long as you're subscribed to me. Am I jealous of him? Damn right. Damn right. But he has been very helpful for me with some things I'm going to be talking about shortly, as are many of you have been very helpful the last little while too, but we'll come to that in a minute. So if you haven't seen So Chatty this week, that was on it, and you haven't seen the interview, check that out. All the links are in the show notes for this. And then I made this special video, and that special video was asking for your help to revitalize my channel, freshen it up, make some changes and things like that. And I wanted to know what you would like to see. So we're going to talk about that a little bit more detail. And hopefully right here today, you'll have some other ideas for me to consider too. But we'll come to that in a minute. But meanwhile, in Canada, okay, it looks like we're making a deal with the Chinese for their electric vehicles. It's somewhat controversial in our country, especially with our premier here in Ontario. He's against it. Ontario, if you may not know, is the central headquarters for GM Canada. In fact, the central headquarters for GM Canada is located right where we live in this city. Used to be a real going concern. It was the major employer.
I don't think it is anymore.
But it's not now, and they only have about 2,000, 2,500 employees, where at one time they had what?
40,000.
40,000. And this just hasn't happened overnight. This has been dwindling over the years.
It's been like that for quite a while now. So, yeah.
However, we do have other car companies in Canada that are not related to the big three, GM, Ford, and what used to be Chrysler's.
It's Stellantis.
Stellantis now, I guess they call it. We do have Hyundai. We do have...
No, we don't have a car manufacturer.
Don't we have a Hyundai? No, I thought we did.
We have Honda and Toyota.
And Toyota. Okay, we have Honda and Toyota. All right, what about Nissan?
Nissan doesn't build cars here either.
Oh, okay. So we have those. And so this is an opportunity to have another one. Well, our premier is really pissed off with our prime minister about making a deal. The deal hasn't gone through yet. It's not a done deal.
And no, yeah. See, the reason it's been blown out of proportion a lot with the Chinese EV thing, in that Canada had put 100% tariffs originally on the Chinese vehicles to keep them from dumping them here, and because of that, China put big tariffs on our canola. So we weren't selling canola to China, and there were some other products that Chinese were not trading with us because of this because of the EV tariffs. So our prime minister took off the tariff of 100% on the EVs and brought it down to 6% or whatever, and 6.7, I think. And they are limiting how many they're allowed to import into our country, which is about 49,000, I think.
Yeah. But in the meantime, they're negotiating to what Carney would like to have happen is them put a factory here in our country and build the cars here. So that would give us, like, that would be good for our economy, good for employment, all that kind of stuff. So they're still in the process of negotiating it. We've been threatened by Trump, of course, for 100 million% tariff on everything if we go with the Chinese. Sorry, we're probably going with the Chinese, and I don't think it's a bad thing. I really don't. But he's doing something about this. We're not just going to sit around and wait for GM and Ford to completely pull out of our country. And I'm not buying their products anyways. I have a Honda. I've had a Honda forever.
And your Honda was made in Canada.
Yes.
And my Honda I have a Honda as well. And mine was made in Canada as well. In fact, in Ontario.
Yeah. And it's great. This deal is great for our farmers out the west for the canola because they've been suffering from that. So I think this is the right deal to make. But we have an idiot for a premier. So he wouldn't know his ass from a Chinese electric vehicle. But anyways, that was one thing that's been happening this week in Canada. Another thing, okay, we didn't know this, and I was going to look this up and see the more details, but apparently we have ice, and I don't mean the kind that comes with snow, in Ottawa. Why? I'm not sure. Apparently there was something they were discussing with our upper echelons. I don't know. But it was kept very quiet that they were here because the major news sources, I didn't hear anything about it on that.
They were here for a meeting of some sort.
Some sort of meeting, whatever that was. But anyways, that's kind of weird and scary at the same time. And of course, so
yeah, because of the EVs being brought in now China has agreed to buy our canola and our farm products.
Yeah, which is a good deal. We need that. Just looking here to see, we need to also support the Western provinces here in Atlantic Canada. Yeah, well, we need to support all the provinces in Canada.
Every province.
Yeah, every province. Canada United. Lydia says, well, unemployment is on the rise, so bring on the EV. It will hopefully create automotive jobs for those who have already been laid off. And yes, support our farmers. Yeah, for sure. Lynn says, Trump seems to back down on tariff usually before they put in place. Well, that's very true. Oh, Adam's here. Hi, Adam. Linda says, you're right about your PM. Yeah, censorship is riff. Yeah, it is. And Pat's here. Hi, Pat. She's just checking in. We're opening a consulate in Greenland, which is good. France is having one there too, and others in the whole bit. Yeah, we're standing united. We sent all of our Inuit people from Nunavut. We shipped them over. Now, I don't know if that was a ploy I don't know if they're coming back. I mean, yes, I think they are. But yeah, we stand in solidarity with Greenland. And why shouldn't we? And of course, right now, the big news of the day is the opening of the Olympics. Now, originally, and I'm still going to talk a little bit about the Olympics, and I'll let you know right now. I mean, I know many, many people love the Olympics, follow it faithfully. Maybe you have family members that are there competing, stuff like that. And I don't want to rain on your parade. You do you. If you enjoy the Olympics and all of that, that's great. I'm glad that you do. But there is a dark side to the Olympics. I think most people can figure that out. And it has to do with money. But there is nothing darker in the whole of the Olympics than what I'm about to show you. This is horrible. I can't imagine it. I don't know why it would have ever been this way. But the horror, the
Actually,
horror, the horror.
Those are different than the ones that we saw.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are. They're different.
Oh, they haven't got the big maple leaf out. Well, I just grabbed whatever picture I
Yeah,
got.
that's an old one.
Well, what? Is it not this year?
It's from a previous year.
Didn't I get this year?
No, you didn't.
Well, they were ugly that year too. Well, anyways, if you saw the opening with all the parade of everybody coming in, the outfits that the Canadian Olympic team had on, let me see if I can find a picture quickly here, because they were as ugly as sin. Let's see here.
Go figure. You pick up the wrong picture.
Well, I thought that was the right one. It was the clearest one. So bite my head off. Canadian outfits for 2026 Olympics. But it just goes to show you,
Let's
though.
spell Olympic.
I know. Why don't you bite me? I'm trying to type with my keyboard. I want a good picture.
Mm.
Yeah, that's the problem. You can't even find a good picture. Is that? Yeah, there we go. Okay.
Okay, that doesn't.
Okay,
You can't capture that.
Ugh,
You get a moving picture now.
just a second. That's not it. That's not it. They're showing the good stuff. They're not showing that ugly stuff. There! Nope,
No.
that's not it. Oh, come on.
Okay, you're gonna.
Just a second. Let me think. This one show anything? Oh, there, it's in the back. Oh, you get all this other
And it's
stuff.
moving.
And it's moving. What is it with all these moving things? Stop it.
How about down in this is most stylish uniforms of 2026.
Yeah. Do you see a Canadian one in that?
No.
Now that's nice.
The American ones were nice.
Yeah, the American ones are nice. Look at those. Wow. Okay, here we go. No. Why do we not have a still of the Canadian outfit? Anyways, I
Well.
can't find a stupid picture of it.
Okay.
Oh, wait, maybe if I go into Google Images. There it is. Okay. Oh.
Oh well, you're wasting too much time doing that.
Okay, why don't you get off my case? Why don't you sit there quietly? I'm determined to find the damn thing now. Okay, there, off the side. I won't click on anything. This is the Canadian outfit. When they were walking in on the parade, it looked like an old sleeping bag they'd thrown over their shoulders. It has a big maple leaf on the front, but it's open on the front, and there's a zippered up part that looks like a dress underneath it. Basically, all they need is a flat tail on this, and you've got a beaver. It is the ugliest thing I've ever seen. I mean, you just saw the American outfits. Stylish. Very nice. Looks great. Not these. These are just crap. And they were designed by, here's another picture, a close-up one. They were designed by Lululemon. Well, I did some research into Lululemon. They were originally a Canadian company. They were started by a guy out in British Columbia, but they're now owned by 80% of it is owned by Americans, by major corporations in the States. But someone needs to be shot. Like, look at that thing. That is just ugly. Ugly as sin. So, yeah, thank you, Lululemon, for that. Let's get out of this. Go back here. So, yeah, I think it's really ugly. Let's see here. Let's see, where did I leave off at? Support, bond, support everybody. That was my point. This Week in Canada is a good name for Sunday segment. Lydia says, I second that, Carol.
Bond says ICE has offices in 5 Canadian cities.
It does? Geez, I didn't know that. That's a little known fact. Lydia says the horrible outfits this year's look like gigantic poop emojis. Yeah, that's for sure. I was being kind, saying they look like beavers. Wasn't kind to the beavers. Symbolism is startling, Linda says. Yeah, with big maple leaf. Yeah, well, we have that on everything in this country.
They could have done something a little bit more stylish. I thought the American outfits were really nice.
Yeah, they were really nice, the American outfits. Dubrovka says, terrible outfits this year. Rachel says, I gave up on the winter sports when I broke my shoulder tobogganing in the Swiss Alps. Someone told me it was safer than skiing. Yeah, right. Yeah, I guess not. Darcy says, yes, Canada outfits were different. I loved USA's this year. Usually we looked outy. Well, you didn't this year.
Yeah, we did. We looked outy this year.
Yeah. Well, we looked outy the years before, too.
Yeah.
I mean, every year I say the same thing. Ugly, ugly, ugly. The media are saying the Aussie uniforms are bad. Didn't really look at those. They popped up there for a second, but didn't look at them too closely. Hey, Walter, you're providing good background info. Okay. Haiti had the nicest outfits. Now we have to check that out. They are the ugliest I have ever seen in my life. I'm assuming you mean the Canadian ones, because yes, they are. U.S. uniforms made from wool from Shineko, Oregon. Is that how you say it? Shineko? Kind of cool.
Yeah, they had nice sweaters.
Yeah, and everything. Too. Yeah, it looked really nice.
Horrible color,
brown. Why, oh, why? Yeah, brown. Brown isn't even one of our colors. Well, it is for a beaver.
Yeah, brown with a red maple leaf on it.
Like
I mean, our flag is white in the background.
Yeah, why couldn't they have done it like the Americans were all in white? Probably winter white, because it is after Labor Day. But why couldn't they have had?
Yeah, they all look like they took the maple leaf off, and they could be monks.
Yeah. Let's see. You've got. Yes, Pat says Lululemon. Yeah, we've got one more Olympics with Lululemon. Wonder if they'll give the contract to Roots after. Yeah, didn't Roots have the contract at one time?
Yeah, I think they do, but are Roots still around?
Oh, that's true. I don't know if they are. And I thought Canada Goose had something once, but I don't know. Walter, would you do some garment sewing instructions? I like those shirts you make. We're going to talk about things.
We did sort of do one, Steve.
Yeah.
We went through doing a shirt when there's a series of videos where I was showing Steve how to make one.
Yeah. So there is a video of that back. That was not a whole year ago, was it?
Yeah, probably.
Might be close to it. Adam says, what's with the maple leaf? Yeah, well, he's just kidding. Yeah, well, I mean, it was front and center, wasn't it? Split down the middle. Sue says Ralph Lauren designed the USA uniforms. His company's been doing it for 10 Olympics. Always great taste. Yeah, a Ralph Lauren. We do have Canadian designers that are good, are really good. Like have world level recognition. And then they go with Lululemon.
Well, probably because they don't have a budget for it.
Yeah, I guess. Linda says Lulu apparently lost her mojo. Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't put cups of tea on everything. Could you imagine? Or crumpets.
Yeah.
Or King Charles's face. Yeah. Rebecca says the American uniform has an old traditional star from Norway called Selbo,
Selbo
Selbo, Rose,
yeah.
they stole our pattern.
Hmm.
Oh, is that true? Oh, okay. Barafi says outfits were Tim Hortons colors.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's right.
right.
Oh well, but
It's
Tim
looks
Hortons.
like a box of donuts.
Tim Hortons is owned by a Brazilian corporation
Yeah,
now.
I know.
Like, really? Where was the thought? What they do? They had a lot.
Guy should have gotten Canadian Tire to do.
Yeah, really. Yeah. At least it would have been in the red and white colors if Canadian Tire had done it.
Yeah, it got the Hudson's Bay colors.
Bond says Roots is still a Canadian company.
Oh, okay.
You just don't see that many of them around anymore.
Yeah, I don't know.
If the Hudson's Bay colors return to Canadian Tire, they should design something around the HB stripes. Yeah, that's true, because that's pretty much an iconic symbol of our country. Steven's outfit would have Turkish delight on it. Well, yeah, if they were edible. It reminds me, I haven't tried again yet to make that. I should. Bond says Roots did a beautiful job on the garments they designed for the Olympics years back. Yeah, well, Lululemon dropped the ball. So,
yeah,
anyway.
that's my bet. Was Lululemon contract was signed before the American company took it over.
Yeah, but you know, that was just one of the problems with the Olympics, and there's always problems. It costs too much money, and I looked it up today. And did you know that every city that has hosted the Olympics in the 21st century and possibly beyond, but I just saw the 21st century, and that have lost millions, in some cases billions of dollars hosting it. 50% of the money from the Olympics, according to what I read, goes to the Olympic Committee. What are they doing with it? And all the infrastructure and everything else seems to be left up to the hosting city, and it's always a disaster. Sometimes they recycle the buildings for housing or things like that. Other times they just tear them down, or they fall into disrepair or whatever. But I mean, right off the bat, why do we need to spend that kind of money on hosting Olympics? I mean, we've got homeless people in all of these cities. Wouldn't it be better if that money was going to them to help them out? I know that should be the case here in Canada, but it's not. We've got FIFA coming. They're all City of Toronto. Oh, they're hyping that up, and they built a better stadium for it, and all this
have
stuff.
world class
transportation if it opens, not, and if it doesn't go any faster than 40 kilometers an hour.
We're laughing because of their transport. They just opened a streetcar line that's going slower than people walk.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's going to be a disaster. There's no two ways about it. And then Toronto will bitch and complain about how much money they're in the hole after it's all over with. And they'll be pleading with the Ontario government and with the federal government to give them money to bail them out of the hole. And we've been there before. That has happened before. So this isn't something that's just speculation. It has happened before, several times before. So I can't see why this time it's going to be any different for that. So yeah, and then, you know, the money, the tickets to go to the Olympics are extremely expensive. If you want to be there in the stands or for the different events and things like that, it's a small fortune.
That's true for any big sporting event.
Well, yeah. And then there's the merchandising as well. And remember, 50% of all of this, from what I read, goes directly to the committee. What do they do with it? I don't know. That seems to be a bit of a secret. But you can bet the people that sit on the Olympic Committee that make all these decisions are not making like a few $1,000. They're making millions each.
Adam So says, did you see the miles and miles of abandoned buildings around the neck in Birmingham? Did the Birmingham host part of the Olympics, or?
I don't know.
I guess so.
I guess they did. So, plane big enough to house thousands of people. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Think any of the ideas you put above would have been better for our UK team? It's so dull. Oh, Am says they could have approached some incredible independent designers to make them. And Bond says, I have the Olympics on TV and seems like a lot of empty seats in the stands. Dollars seem to have grown wings. Yeah. And they always talk about that this is going to bring people together, like it's a great big love-in thing. Well, apparently it's not. The Olympic Committee sort of talked to all of the audience and that beforehand and said no booing, no when the athletes come in, no booing. Well, it's not the athletes; they shouldn't be booed. No, but they did boo Vance. And he was shocked that they should. But, but that's not really bringing people together, is it? So, that's an argument that's gone out the window. Of course, then there's the heightened security because of terrorism and everything else. And ICE wanted to go into Italy. Italy, rightfully so, turned them away. And I guess they got in the part of the security system from the States for the athletes there, but it wasn't technically ICE, although I think it came from the same department as ICE comes from. Well, okay, this is modern world, right? They do have to have security, but they don't need ICE for that. The only ice you need is that you put in your drink. And it encourages competition between countries, but is this really friendly competition? I don't know with it. I think just in general, as a society, we place way too much emphasis on sports. I mean, look at what athletes meet in any sport, not just the Olympics, anything. Millions and millions of dollars are put into that. These athletes are good, yes, but they're not heroes. And they're put on the pedestal to be heroes, and they're not saving the world from world hunger or homelessness or a cure for cancer or anything like that. I mean, yes, some of the athletes go on to do some charitable work and things like that helps bring in dollars because of their celebrity and that kind of thing, and that's a good thing. But overall, no. I mean, we don't seem to put the same emphasis on people who are smart. People who can do quilt math, people who have contributed so much to health and science and everything like that. But no, because you're able to, dribble a basketball, play hockey, whatever, kick a round ball up and down the field.
Well, you got to keep people busy, and if you keep people busy, there'll be less people doing things they're not supposed to be doing.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think there's just too much emphasis put on that kind of thing, especially given the state of the world and the part that we need to look after those people who can't look after themselves. So
I've always kind of wondered, there's too much of this, going from country to country to country all the time. And maybe at one time it was beneficial for these countries to host these games, but it's become a big financial burden. So you'd think that they could pick an island somewhere in a neutral territory and host it the same place all the time.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. But the cities are all, the countries are all in competition for this too. Yeah. But according to what I read, anyways, they don't make any money. They lose a lot of money. And who's covering that? Well, the people of the country. It trickles down to them like everything does, right? Vance got booed, was happy to see that, Bond says. Adam says, no, it was in London, built on where the notorious Cray Twins patch was. Who knows what they built those buildings on? Oh, okay. The American channels took it off their feed when they got booed. Oh, okay. Vance gets booed everywhere. Green Not Heroes. Athletes are meeting personal goals. Yeah, and that's great for them. That's the thing. That's what they're into. But that doesn't mean I have to get overly excited about it because, as I said, it's not solving a world problem. Think they're extremely overpaid. Yeah, I do too. Most people can't afford to go to sports games. I wonder how much a Super Bowl ticket is for today's game. Oh, that's a good point, Barb. Colleen says some of the athletes go on to run drugs. Well, yes, we've just seen a recent example of that one, haven't we, with that snowboarder guy. Karen says, I agree with you on sports, but it's a way to assuage the masses. Yep. Yeah. And also divert them.
Massage me.
Soothe them,
Okay.
calm them. Yeah. But it's also a way of distracting the masses from what's really important. Too much celebrity worship. Yeah, for sure. I think that was a one-off. Maybe can't judge them like one of them. But I think that was a one-off. Something I was going around. Oh, yeah. Yeah, but it was a big one-off. That's for sure. And it's something that is kind of shameful for us as Canadians because he was a Canadian or is a Canadian, kind of a thing. So, you know, there you go. All right. So anyways, everybody has their own belief in it. If you're getting something out of it and it's working for you, you do you with it. There's nothing that I can say or do that's going to change how the Olympics run. It's not up to me. It's just there. But I don't watch them. I'm not that interested at all. But I don't watch any sports. I'm not interested in sports. It's not my thing. But
I used to watch it a little bit, some of the parts, but I find that this year I'm not all that interested in it.
And the other thing is trying to find, I was looking for the opening ceremonies, and on YouTube they have it in bits and pieces, but I couldn't find the entire opening ceremonies.
We don't subscribe to any sports channel.
Well, yeah, but this was what I was leading up to, is that it used to be on the major networks and you could tune it in and watch it on your television. Now it seems they have rights. They have purchased the rights to show this, and the only way you're going to really see it is if you also pay for that particular service with it. So yeah, I thought the Olympics were for everyone. Yeah, not so.
Vaughn says it's on CBC. Yeah, actually it was on CBC, and I think it's on CBC Gem as well.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so I must have missed that. Well, I don't watch regular TV, so maybe that was it. We watch YouTube. Bomb watched it all there, and CBC in their app, so that's Gem. Dubrovka says, smart idea, Walter, about Olympic venue. Walter for the Prime Minister. Okay, it'll go to his head.
But it'll never happen. It would make sense that it would be in one place and have all the countries pay to keep this one venue up.
I don't understand Bond's comment. I don't take any shame for wedding. Have enough of
somebody's
my own shame.
by the name Wedding. I don't
Oh, that's that guy. Yeah, the
Yeah.
drug guy. His name
Yeah.
was yeah. BBC here. I didn't pay any extra. Bond said she didn't pay any extra for it. Well, not if you watched on CBC, you wouldn't have. Jeannie's here. Hi, Jeannie. Linda says, I like Super Bowl day big quilt shops. Because
quilt
shops
shops
often open up and have sales. Oh, do they? Not here. Well, there's an advantage then to that. You can get cheap fabric. Okay, well, anyways, that's the Olympics. Had to be said. Whatever. You do you. If you enjoy them, that's fine.
We don't watch Super Bowl either.
No. Well, what's the Super Bowl to us?
Yeah, well, I'm not
We're
a football
Canadians.
fan, so.
Yeah, but we're also Canadians.
Yeah, but they get into it here too. So.
Oh, well, those are the ones that just want to use anything as an excuse.
I bought cheap chicken wings this week.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was going to say it was just, yeah, there was an advantage to the Super Bowl. You could get wings on sale. Yeah. But that's what the excuse is for Super Bowl, just to be able to drink beer and eat chicken wings and nachos. Maybe that's not so bad. Okay. All right. So, main topic, changes. All right. So, I'm going to tell you how this occurred. You saw the video. Most of you have seen the video I posted on Friday, a special video, where I had done some AI analysis of my channel, and it gave me some ideas. But I want to back up for a second and explain what's going on. After I interviewed Brian Parks and realized that he had only been doing his YouTube channel for just a year, at the same time, YouTube sent me an announcement saying, congratulations on 13 years on YouTube. He's been on for 1 year and has 5,000 subscribers. I have been on for 13 years and have 12,600 100 subscribers. You do the math. And I'm saying to myself, what's wrong?
You never say that I can subscribe.
Yeah, Walter has a lot of things about what's wrong, and he's not afraid to tell me.
Yeah, well, I've told you
every
that
day.
before.
And some of them are about the channel. But, you know,
Don't piss people off.
you should always... You're not very supportive. Let's see. How do I put this mildly? You're an asshole. Yeah, thank you. Okay. Anyways, yeah, somebody didn't like the way that I belittle Walter, except first of all, she got my name wrong. Always does. She didn't like the way that I belittled Stephen. I wrote back to her and said, we've been together for over 42 years. It's our sense of humor. We're like an old married, well, we are an old married couple. You know, it's, we'll make another face. Maybe it'll stick that way. It's my mother always said. One day you'll wake up and your face will stick like that. Well, she's dead. But anyways, and I wrote back and said, it's our sense of humor. You know, if we took it seriously, we wouldn't have lasted 42 years with it. And I said the other thing too is, I'm Stephen. Stephen with the white gray hair, the one balding, is Walter. Like, all the time, she gets us mixed up. I don't know how. I really don't know how. I'm the cute one.
You don't
He's
even
the
look
progression.
like a Walter.
That's for sure. Thank God for that. Yeah, maybe I should have said to her, think of that guy.
You
Jeff.
look like an idiot. No.
I was going to say, I'm going to ignore that, that she should turn around and just watch Jeff. Is it Jeff Dunham that has Walter, one of his ventriloquist? Because you look exactly like the ventriloquist puppet. The only thing different is that you can make the ventriloquist puppet shut up. So anyways, so I thought, well, I've been thinking about this for a while. I need to do some revamping. I need to freshen up some things. Some things I need to get rid of. Some things I need to incorporate something new. But I wanted to know what people wanted. And I got lots of very good ideas. They were very constructive. They were nicely delivered to me. There was only 2 people that insulted me, who decided that the change that should come was an opportunity for them to do personality assassination with it. And my natural feeling about those comments was just to eliminate them. And I mean the people. But then I thought, no, I'm going to answer back to them. And I did. And you've probably seen it because it's still there in the comments for that video with it all. I do draw the line at being associated with pedophiles. Yeah. That was nasty. That was nasty by inference. So anyways, I'm not going to get into that because there were so many really great ideas. And I want to go over these with you. And I want to explain why some things are more complicated than others to do. And I want to start off by saying, first of all, if you're not a content creator, you probably don't realize the hours that content creators, even me, put into producing these videos. And you also have to remember that for most of us, this is not a job that we get paid for. And most of us don't do it for money. We do it because it is a hobby. It's something we enjoy doing. So we're willing to put in the time and the effort for that kind of thing. So that's why I do it. I enjoy doing it. I really do. But it could be better. And so this is what people suggested. One of the top ones, and I don't know what I'm going to do about this yet, but I have some ideas. Tutorials. People want tutorials. Well, here's why I haven't. What are you giggling at?
Adam says you could take up tap dancing.
Adam, you're drinking, aren't you? Uh-huh. Yeah, I can tell you're drinking. Don't encourage them. All right. So what was I saying? Tutorials. I know lots of content creators do tutorials, and that's why I don't do them. I can't reinvent the wheel. I mean, people out there that are better qualified for doing tutorials than I are doing brilliant tutorials. I'll give you an example. He's here. I shouldn't say anything nice about him right now after these comments, but Adam. Adam does brilliant tutorials. Okay? And I don't know what I'm going to teach in a tutorial that's unique. However, some people said, yes, you should still do them because your approach is different from other people's approaches. In other words, you bring something because of your personality or whatever unique to it. So I am going to do something like tutorials, but they're going to be mini, little things. I have some ideas for that. I'm still working on the ideas. So yes. So if that's what people want, then I will try to do it with that. But there's somebody else sitting here in the room that needs to be involved in the tutorials. And you have asked for this. Many times you have asked for Walter to show you something and he just goes, no, go away. Well, those days are over. I am happy to say Walter is going to be, and there will be blood, and it's not going to be my blood for this. He is going to show you, but don't expect Walter to do a whole tutorial from beginning to end on how to put together a shirt. I'm going to talk to his people, and his people are going to talk to mine, and we're going to come up with a plan, and they will be mini tutorials on some things. Things that can be handled in, say, 15 to 20 minutes. That kind of idea. Maybe he'll get more confidence and do a whole thing on a shirt down the road. Probably not. He'll probably tell me go away. But yeah, he has to be more involved in the videos that we create as well. Like right now, I do everything. I do the planning, the whole bit. When he sits down here in front of you on a live or on a So Chatty, he goes, so what are we talking about? I say, just follow my lead with it. Now, you're probably thinking, oh, well, that's nasty. You're taking all the control away from Walter. You're a control freak.
Because I'm sort of unorganized, and you'll tell me I need to brush up on something, and then I forget.
Yeah. Like, do you have anything to show? Oh. No, I don't want to. Oh, no.
There's some projects I want to do, but I haven't gotten around to it. I keep doing it, and I'm a great procrastinator. So.
Oh, he's very good at that. And, of course, when I say to him, so, when I try to get him into planning mode and say to him, so, we should talk about this. And he goes, yeah, we will. I'm busy right now. Just go away. There you go. But I will, on your behalf, I will put my neck on the line, and it will get chopped off, and to make him do this.
Well, Rachel says, I like to see how things come together, so it would be nice to see some of your processes of things coming together. I followed your pinwheel and managed to get it right.
And Rachel, I did note your comments because you said that in the video, and you said, in fact, I think you said show more mistakes and how to fix them. This goes back to yeah, and show the processes I go through. And this is something I forgot all about. As time has gone by on doing these, I show you the end product. That was the thing that made me start the channel in the first place, because I was sick and tired of going to YouTube videos where I saw the end products and everything was perfect. And I didn't see the mistakes and how to overcome the mistakes. So I didn't learn anything from that. So when I created the Idiot Quilter, and I called it Idiot Quilter, was to show my mistakes, but how I overcame them or what you could do with them, that it's not the end of the world. I lost sight of that. So I'm bringing that back. And so, yes, Rachel, I'm going to show my processes on things. It happens when you've worked with something for so long, you kind of lose sight of why you started it in the first place. One of the things too, I think, Rachel, you might have said this. Someone said picking fabrics for a project what my thought processes are. How do I do that? It's not something I really ever thought anybody would be interested in. You know, I show you the fabric after I've picked it, but what do I go through? And I know that there's a lot of people that have trouble picking their fabrics for a project. It like I've said, we've said this before. We've been in the quilt store where somebody has been frozen for 10 minutes staring at the bolts of fabric on the wall and they don't know what to do. They don't know what to get. So, yes, I have to think about those things now a little bit, break it down. Let's just stop for a second and let's see what's happening here. Knitting.
Looking for Adam.
I'm looking for where it started. Super Bowl. No, we've done that.
Okay, hang on. Keep going down.
Okay, down.
No. Okay, see where Adam sews? It's like right here, right? That's the last one. So
Knitting
the tap dancing.
Oh, knitting tutorial. Stevens, Turkish Delight. You could take up tap dancing. I'm being helpful. Yeah. Iser says, I love watching you two. Shows that marriage makes merry. Some days. Karen says, I have thoroughly enjoyed your travel logs. Allows vicarious experiences. Yes, Karen. Other people have mentioned they like the travel thing. So I am thinking of going back into our archive of travel videos and picking out some key moments or scenes on that and putting that in. Those would go into my vlog. But I would like to know what to do with all the material I own. Give me some crazy quilt tutorials. Okay, I have a lot of material that I haven't used either that I loved at the time, and yes, and scraps. What I do with scraps and like my orphan block quilts and things like that. Yes.
Yeah, like actually one thing that I think of is, you know, when you do your, we've discussed this a few times, is when you do your embroidery, right, on different things, to talk about what you're backing with it and stuff like that, because you can go into OASD and OASD will sell you 12 different products to do
when
a
you only
project,
need one.
right? And Steve uses 1 or 2 products instead.
If I'm cheap. No, but you don't need all that stuff. But yes, and in fact, I am working right now. It won't be out this week. It'll probably be out next week on the Idiot Quilter. I'm working on a video like that right now.
Adam just it was, maybe I didn't see his comment, but he says about shows you how to load the embroidery machine, which stabilizer you show for which project.
Yeah. I guess, you see, I didn't think anybody was really interested in that. I thought that, well, everybody knows how to do that. And I guess not. I've made some assumptions about it. So, yeah, I got to go back to, you know.
And especially when you have tutorials online that maybe they work for OASD or they have an affiliate with OASD and they are telling you all the things that OASD is telling you to use. And when you don't need half the stuff.
Yeah. Lucy says, I think tutorials can be so dull. That is the thing, Lucy. I agree with you. Unless you are following along and you're making the same thing, you don't really have a vested interest in it. So that is why I haven't really done tutorials.
No, but you could do something like, this is the project I'm making on for embroidery, and this is the stuff I'm using for stabilizer and stuff like that.
And I have been, this is with this one I'm working on right now with the portfolio. That's exactly what I'm doing as well with it. And I'm trying to keep it relatively short. And there's actually some mistakes I'm showing you in that video that happened, not planned, but they happened, and how I overcame them. So like when your hoop pops in the middle of a project and stuff like that. So yes, I am working towards that. But I'm just saying, the reason I wasn't doing tutorials before and I was putting up a resistance to them is that's one of the reasons. I don't want it to be boring. And as likes tutorials. Yeah, some people do. Seeing you make something would be fun. Or funny. It depends. That could happen. Scott says tap dancing might work. Picture the abominable snowman tapping. Are you calling me fat? Go away. Stitch-alongs. Kim. Yes, that's on the list. People are asking for sew-alongs. Okay, here's the problem with a sew-along, and Adam can attest to this. If you do a sew-along, you have to dedicate a set time and day for that. And if it's a sew-along that is with a project that may run over several weeks, that you have to be consistent with your time and with your dates. That ties you down. And that puts pressure on you to, like, if suddenly something comes up, you know, there are several content creators online right now who promise the earth, sun, and the moon that they're going to do this project and that project. And we have seen in the past that they don't deliver. That suddenly something that was going to happen every Thursday, Saturday, or something like that, well, suddenly a Saturday got missed, or several Saturdays got missed, and then the project went on and on and on, and people lose interest if it takes
Or people start getting ticked off and stuff like that. So
and I know a few of you on here who have expressed that as a concern with you. We'll just leave it anonymous for now. So I don't want that to happen. If I commit to something, and this is the way I am on everything I do, if I say I'm going to do something, I do it. Come hell or high water. So that's one reason why I haven't done sew-alongs. Also, I do have Wednesdays where, although we're not doing a specific project, it is a sew-along. However, somebody else suggested that instead of doing a sew-along that's at a gigantic project, why not do a sew-along that's for one block? Something short and easy. Well, that would cross over into tutorial as well. But it would be something where I wouldn't have to definitely schedule it over at the same time every day, same day, same time, over a period of several months. I mean, I admire those content creators that can commit to that and do that and stick to it. But I do have another idea on that. You know, I've written patterns, and some of you have done my patterns. It might be workable to do a sew-along with one of my patterns. And what I would do is I would pick probably a time that's the most convenient to me and a date, but it would be recorded. Well, if I do it as a YouTube live, it'll automatically be recorded so people could come back to it later and watch it, that kind of thing. So I'm still kind of thinking about those ideas, but you know, you got to be fair to me. I need a life as well. And I do a lot of things besides this. And there's only so many hours in a day and so many days in a week as well. But it was one of the ideas that was there that I'm working with. Let's see here. Judy says you may say 1 to 2 things in a tutorial that may click and the light comes on and they understand it. Yes, that's a possibility. Walter, you're a rock star. We need your help. Reach says, I'd like to see how things come together, so it would be nice to see some of your process. Yeah, okay, we talked about that. Yes, Judy, he does. He does need to participate more. You hear this? Your people want you.
Yeah, I know. Okay,
your people want you. They don't want me. They want you.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, sure. He says that now, but he'll make up excuses. He will. He does all the shoveling, Bond says. Yeah, he does. Sherry says, you make me laugh. I don't get bored, and I bore easily. I enjoy listening to you the way you are. Okay, but some people don't. But I did subscribe when I saw you on live, and it was your humor that made me subscribe. Okay, well, we can still have fun. Linda says she likes seeing mistakes and how to fix them. And Lucy says, great, I love to see things being made. Not exactly a tutorial, but more interesting. Okay, well, I'm working on that idea. Ivy says, I was worried about you changing, but I'm loving these ideas. Okay, well, these ideas are coming from all of you. And Ez says she'd like to learn the color wheel. That is not going to happen. You know why? I actually have taught the color wheel. I taught it when I was in a scrapbooker, and the local scrapbooking store asked me to create a course over a period of several weeks to teach how to use the color wheel. Oh my God. The color wheel is not a simple thing. There's a whole lot of terminology that goes into that and everything else. I don't think I will ever attempt that again. However, having said that, I might be able to attempt something color wheel adjacent to that, meaning talking a little bit about color theory, but just a little bit about it. Now, Karen Brown from Just Get It Done Quilts has a whole series on the color wheel and color theory on her channel that she put out several years ago. It's probably still there. So, you know, if you really are serious about wanting to learn that stuff, and believe me, have a bottle of aspirin beside you, then you can find lots of that on YouTube and other places as well. I'd like to see embroidery loading too. Yep, that can be done. That is definitely manageable. What needles to use with different stabilizers in quilting along with different threads would make a great tutorial. We actually have one of those. A couple of those up, but maybe we need to revisit that because that was quite a long time ago that we did that. And to be honest, I don't know if we did a really great job at the time that we did that because we were kind of struggling with the concept too. But we've gotten more knowledgeable through experience. So yes, that is something that we could do. I've just started learning how to quilt on a home embroidery machine. End-to-end quilting, not easy. Okay, you're not going to see a tutorial about that. And I'll reference that by see my playlist on the 15,000 and you'll understand why. Denise is here. Hi, Denise. I'd rather have a how-to than a trunk show. Yes, other people said too, they like seeing my creations, but they wanted to know more about the process for making them. So, okay. That is definitely in the works. Rebecca says, just keep on being Stephen Walter. Don't worry about the number on YouTube. You do you. That's what you're here for. I am not worried about the number of subscribers. This is not why I'm doing it. I'm thinking about this from my point of view. I'm getting bored. I'm getting bored with the same old stuff. There, I said it. I said it myself. I didn't need you to tell me that. I know there is some repetition across my 4 different videos every week. I'm going to try to eliminate that. There's still be a little tiny bit of overlap, but I'm going to try to eliminate that, make those channels a little more distinct. Linda says, yes, how to quilt on a home embroidery machine would be helpful.
No.
Well, okay.
Maybe individual blocks.
Maybe individual blocks. Maybe I could go explore something a little further with that as well. It's okay. I shouldn't just say no. It's a qualified no.
Steve tried to do edge-to-edge quilting
several times
on his 15,000, and it's very difficult to do. And it can also cause problems with your machine.
Yeah. Also, there are some other factors. You will hear people say, oh, I did it all on my embroidery machine. It's great. Then you ask them, what size did you do? Well, a baby quilt. Yes, you could do a baby quilt, but you got a queen size, you're going to have trouble. Now, someone's going to tell you, I did a queen size on mine. It was perfect. Ask them what machine they've got. If they have a Luminaire by Brother with a laser light and a camera, you can. Because you can line edge to edge up with those things. I don't have one of those machines. No, unless you want to send me money, I'll buy one and try it all out. I have a 550E by Janome. It does not have a laser light. It does not have a camera. So that makes things much more difficult. I bought a whole program that cost me a lot of money for edge to edge on your embroidery machine. And I went through it. Most complicated thing I ever, well, first of all, the instructions themselves were like mind-boggling. I can't remember who the woman was that created the program for it. I could have done the quilt on my domestic sewing machine faster and easier than what her program was all about. It's one thing that drove me to a long arm, and I've never looked back from that. But what?
Not only that, isn't it? I mean, I haven't done it, but your hoop has to move around, right? And if it's trying to move a section of a queen size quilt around.
So there are contraptions you can buy for suspending the quilt to take the weight off. I built my own. When I was in the sewing dungeon in the workshop, it has open rafters. I hooked up bungee cords and clamps from that to hold the quilt up. When I had to reposition the quilt, and you have to reposition the quilt many, many times with that and trying to line it up, it took me longer to reposition for the next area to quilt than it did to actually quilt that area. It was a pain in the butt. But there may be ideas within this that I can work with that might be of help. Isa says, watching your podcast helped me plan my quilt and sewing classes. I'm able to cover in class what people can't see on the screen. Sew-alongs must be hard to plan and record. They are. And that's the other thing. If you're doing recording for tutorials, getting your cameras in position. I have a lot of cameras in this room. And the technology itself can be a problem, but I'm not saying I won't do it because of that. I'm not going to use that as an excuse. I'm getting better at that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'll make it work. Charlotte says, I really like the idea of doing a sew along of your patterns. Okay, Charlotte. Well, that I'm definitely seriously considering.
Yeah, Rachel says I'd never be able to keep up with a sew along. Actually, I think what happens in a sew along is you just do a segment.
Yes.
Of something, right? And it gives you the idea of how to put it together. You may not actually be able to finish it during that time slot.
Yeah.
Right? And you may be able to do it on your own later on, right? But that's how I see it, because I did do a sew along a while back of actually a quilt thing, and I'm super slow. I'm not a quilter. I'm super slow. It takes me forever to do something. So other people are all going, it is depressing because other people are going, I got it done. Yeah. And I'm halfway through. And I get uptight and that I don't have it done.
And that's the key there. People do get frustrated with sew-alongs because they feel they're falling behind and they're not as fast as the other people, and they think that's a fault on their part. It is not. We all sew at different speeds. We all come with different experience with it. If I was to do a sew-along, it would be one little chunk at a time, and there would be a week until we moved into the next chunk. But on top of it all, there would be no pressure that you have a set deadline when you have to get it absolutely done. Yes, you'd have to, if you want to get it done when the program was done, then that's your thing. You're putting on yourself that pressure for it. But no, I don't want people to feel pressured, and I wouldn't want people to feel that they're inadequate with it. So I would do it in very small little chunks. You always take, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Oops, everything bounced up. Where'd it go?
Oh, here we go.
Just a second.
Okay.
Who does the cooking and cleaning? This has nothing to do with this discussion, Lucy. Sorry. Adam says, subscribers numbers are weird. Some channels grow at an alarming rate, but the views numbers are terrible. Channels that grow steadily tend to get more consistent viewing. Who knows? Yeah, there's algorithms that are here. And AI can analyze your channel, and YouTube has facilities for all that. I'm not getting into that. that isn't what my main purpose is for having the channel. It isn't the numbers at all. Yes, the higher numbers do create a certain amount of envy in me when I see other channels that haven't been out as long as mine. And you question yourself, what am I doing wrong? That's how I question it. What can I do right? But that's not why I'm making this revamping or asking for suggestions on it. I'm doing it because I think it's getting a little stale. Stale for me. And if it's stale for me and I'm not enjoying what I'm doing, why am I doing it? If it doesn't bring you joy, you know, kind of a thing. See, Adam says, you may have one already. I know it would be a huge amount of editing, but would love to see you load an edge-to-edge quilt rather than being a sponsored blog from the manufacturer.
We do have one somewhere.
There is, yeah, if you look in my playlist under the 15,000, it's called.
No, not the 15,000 an edge. I think he means on your long arm.
Oh, on the long arm. Oh, you're talking about the long arm. We did one back a year and a half ago or so. I showed Walter how to do it.
Yeah.
But yes, we are going to revisit that because since that video was made, I have learned some things. Lucy and I are starting to think alike, which is a good thing. And for those of you that don't know who Lucy is my long arm. She came with that name. It's on the side of her, Lucy. Yeah, so that's definitely in the workings, Adam. And we're going to explore other things about the long arm a little further too, because Walter wants to learn how to long arm.
Yeah, I want to do that more.
And I want him to learn how to long arm. So what I'm going to do, my plan is, I'm going to create basically a unit of study. And I'm going to break it down, just like I did when I was a teacher. And I'm going to break it down into small, manageable units. And say, like, Walter, this week, Walter's going to learn how to load a quilt. Next week, Walter's going to learn the general principles behind QuiltPath, the computerized program, and other things like that kind of thing. And we'll record those, and those will probably go up on something like So Chatty. Barb says, start a new segment, back to basics. Funny you should mention that because other people did that too. I have assumed that people, after this number of years that I've been doing videos, they already know the basic things like how to thread a needle. Recently, we found out that's not true. So, like, people don't understand size of thread and size of needle and that kind of thing. So, yes, I'm going to do something like that. Rachel says, yeah, I think I would be like that, Walter, because yes, I want to be as good as others, and I know I'm super slow. Rachel, don't compare yourself to others. I learned that early on in the quilting thing. There's always going to be somebody who sews faster and is better at it than you are. We just have to accept that fact. But we learn over time from our experience. Be comfortable with what you know and then extend it.
I sew shirts. Some people can sew shirts in like a few hours, and it takes me forever to sew a shirt because I'm picky. So and I still make mistakes.
Oh, Lucy says, sorry, Stephen, I meant to indicate how busy you were, not being nosy. Oh, I see what you mean.
We both cook, we both clean.
Yeah, well,
we sometimes go out for dinner.
Yeah. We don't both cook and we don't both clean. I used to cook, but I don't now. Walter cooks because...
Well, you made me breakfast.
He does. Yeah, well, I can do that. I used to be able to do other things, but I forgot. But I clean. Although I don't do bathrooms. Walter does well, I do the bathroom down here, but he does the other two bathrooms. I don't enjoy doing bathrooms, but yeah, I clean here and that, but we share the stuff back and forth. We always have. So yeah, but I see what you mean. Like, okay, how do you, yeah, exactly it. I am busy all the time. I never feel bored. Okay. I always have something I'm working on, usually things. Before you guys all came on here, the embroidery machine was going and the 3D printers are going. And that's something else some people wanted for my vlog. They wanted for me to get into a little bit more in depth on the 3D printers rather than just show what I've printed. Again, process. A lot of people see, this is the one word that keeps popping up. People want to see process. They want to see the backstage stuff, I guess. So that can be done. Susan said, I've been into sew along with our local quilt shop. They post once a week and have playbacks you can watch, which is perfect as I'm having a total shoulder replacement tomorrow. Yeah, so you can keep up with it when you feel up to it, which is true. And mine would be that way. If I did them, yes, they would be recorded so that you can see them anytime you want to look at them. Denise says, is there some advantage to having more views? And if I let a short play over and over before I move on to the next video, does that count? No, it doesn't. That's not how the algorithms work with that, because people have already thought of that before and they have created bots that will do that kind of thing, and it doesn't help. The YouTube people have figured that out. No. Thank you for suggesting that maybe you could do something to boost it, but I don't need to be boosted.
I think getting more viewers is sort of psychological.
Yeah.
That you like, that a lot of people are viewing you. So
yeah, it is. It's psychological more than anything. And I'm not worried about that. That's, as I said, I've said this several times here today. This is not my point of revamping the channel. Lynn says, my psychic knot skills say Walter in the future long arming a quilt and making a coat or a shirt. Yes, Lynn. I would like to see that too. I think you need, Barb says, to keep in mind there will always be new viewers to your channel and all at a different levels. And that's very, very true. Yeah. So you're right about that, Barb. Inez says, yes, 3D printers. Process is key, Lucy says. Yep. Long arms are so expensive, not something I would ever have, but I do long for one. Excuse the pun. Yes, they are expensive. And Deluxe says, Pam says, yes, I think the 3D printing is so interesting. You may push me into buying a printer. Yeah, well, that's not my point. But my point is that people want to see. I just take for granted on the 3D printing, I'm not an expert. I play. So there are tons of videos out there where people can explain bits, everything about them. And it's like overload of information because it gets very technical. And I'm not technical about it. You know, I shove the thing in the hole and I push this button and I push this button over here and the thing creates this kind of a thing. Adam says, it's discouraging when views are poor on a vlog. I automatically feel the content is boring and nobody wants to watch it. Exactly, Adam. That's our governance. When we see something that, okay, last week on one of our videos, it got over 1,000 views. And this week on a video, I got 400. And you go, what happened? What's wrong? What's going on here? And you blame yourself. You say, there could be many factors for that. But you always say, okay, I've done something wrong. What was it? So yeah. I mean, people have to understand that being a content creator is a very personal thing. Okay? When you attack a channel, you are attacking a content creator. When you write a derogatory or deconstructive comment in the comment section, you are hurting a human being at the other end of that who put in a lot of work. And although there may be 100 really nice comments, as there were in what I asked for here, I had some really nice comments and I acknowledged every one of those and thanked people for them. But I had 2 that were not. And those are the 2 that stick in my mind. I had all these other beautiful comments, and you say to yourself rationally, don't go with the haters. Go with the other. It was only 2 out of all this many. Why are you worried? Yes, that's your intellectual mind. Your logical mind says that, but your heart does not. Your heart does not. And only content creators can really understand what that can do. People who write comments have a lot of power. I guess if we allow them to have that power. Kim says, I just realized there are some people in my group that need to learn how to download a file from a computer, saving a file, a lot of basics. Okay, there is that as well. And that will probably come up in some of the things that I will do when it's related to a machine I'm using. I'm not going to start getting into the computer technology
Yeah, I know.
because
Like,
that's not the basis of our channel.
yeah, there's lots of places that you can view that information and how to do that stuff online. And if you if you don't know how to turn on your computer, how's that going to help? That's a difficult thing to.
Yeah. But in some cases, like for example, if I do stuff on the embroidery machine, a lot of people struggle with how do I get my designs that I've bought online onto my embroidery machine? So that is something we have talked about that before, but it's something I think we need to revisit. Lydia says,
Do a fabric sandwich.
yeah.
Yeah, that's an ideal idea, but I have to make the sandwich first.
Yeah, so I have to teach him how to do that. Denise says a vlog is a trunk show. I want to know how I too can make that. Yes, Denise, I agree with you. So that's what I'm going to start focusing my attention on more. When I show you something, I'm going to back it up and talk about how I constructed it, what my thought process was, how I picked my colors, why I picked that particular pattern. Izar says, I enjoy watching Needlecraft magazine reviews. Maybe a quilt, sewing, cooking, embroidery design, or 3D printer magazine would be interesting to some. That could be. Teresa says, best wishes for your surgery. I had a shoulder replacement. Oh, okay. We're talking health now. Okay. Francis says, been there, done that, and have the t-shirt. Rachel says, I don't understand why people out derogatory
Make
derogatory comments. If you have anything nice to say, say nothing. If you don't have anything nice to say, say nothing. If you don't enjoy something, why have you stayed watching and taking the time to come out comment? Well, you've heard me say that many times. But some people need that because they have a poor self-image or a weak ego, and they need that. They need to bring pain upon somebody else to make themselves feel superior. Sticks and stones. One bad apple spoils the rest. Yep, sometimes, but it shouldn't. Agree, Rachel. Nobody is hiding, holding eyelids opening, forcing watching. Always fun to ask if they would like a refund for the free content. Yeah, exactly, Adam. Okay, just moving on here. We've talked about a lot of things that are in my list. Somebody wanted to know about patterns, like what you find challenging in them, how do you read them, what makes a good pattern, because I've had several patterns that weren't so good as well, and I think that's a valuable thing. How to create a unique pattern and how to write it. That's a little bit more involved, but not undoable. Okay. Of course, any of these kind of things I just mentioned now would be from my point of view, and mine is only one point of view. There are other points of view as well out there. So I would not want to come off as saying, no, this is the only right way to do it, because it's not. There are many ways to get to the same end. More about the AccuQuilt system. Yes, I do need to do more with the AccuQuilt because I have all of this stuff here, like thousands of dollars, literally, of blocks. Some still in the package that I have never taken out, and I have not done anything with them. So yes, that is something that would be for me as well as for you. Quilt math for dummies. Oh, I struggle with quilt math, but I know of some resources that I should look at that might help with that. Tool reviews. People seem to like to talk about tools. Well, that's easy enough to do. So yes, and I have done some of that.
We have done it in the past, but I think it's something that we should revisit.
Yeah, I think so. Because there's a few new tools we probably haven't talked about, but other ones. 3D printing and quilting. I have had this come up many times. And I am still looking for ways to combine the two. I mean, beyond making a ruler rack or a tray or something like that. But I'm still thinking about it. There's probably something there. Okay, that was a lot of different suggestions, and I'm not done with them yet. I'm still brainstorming about these things. So when are you going to see some of the other changes too is, I never say about like, subscribe, ring the bell kind of a thing. I just created, with the help of AI, a little splash screen for that you may see appearing in my next video as a reminder. I never remember to do that. I never think it has any bearing on anything, but apparently it does. So I will do that. All these other things are not going to happen overnight. The changes are going to be gradual. I'm going to try to institute a new change in each of my videos every week. Probably won't get started. Well, I may start this week. I'm always a week ahead. So I've already kind of planned out what's going to go into the videos this week. So I'll see what I can incorporate that'll start the ball rolling, sort of a deal. But in the meantime, more suggestions are welcome. Not everything is doable. This is why I wanted to go over this with you. And you've heard my concerns about certain things. But that doesn't mean I'm saying, no, I won't. I'm saying I will consider it, I will think about it, I will explore the idea further and go from there. So just bear with me for a while with that. Now let's talk one more thing before we go. I've had several people mention the whole political discussion and they don't enjoy that. I know you don't enjoy that. I don't enjoy discussing it either. But it's the times that we live in. I'm not going to change. That's part of my nature. When I see an injustice being done, I do speak up about it. And there's been a lot of that lately, hasn't there? And it is tiresome. And I agree with you. It is tiresome. And for one reason or another, some people get really, well, it really triggers them. And they lash out at me about it, to the point where they tell me what I can and cannot do. That triggers me. You don't tell me what I can and cannot do. I do not take orders very well at all, even from Walter. But having said that, I am not going to make any promises, but I'm going to try to curb it a little bit. I do agree that I think that I was spreading the politics out across all my videos. It's a very upsetting time, and it just happens. But I'm going to try and contain it to Stephen and Walter Live, and only in the little segment that I did today. Meanwhile, in Canada, I'm going to stick with my home base, but I'm going to limit it. I'm not going to do a big, huge, long rant about it, and that kind of thing. I'm just going to mention something that was in the news this week. That's it. And one of the reasons I want to do that is not for the sake of my Canadian audience. It's for the sake of my American audience, because we know we get, as Canadians, much more news about the States than you do about Canada. And I think if we're going to understand the situation we're in as North Americans, we need to know about both countries. But I'm going to try and limit it. Okay? All right. So just pick up here anything that we've missed. Looking forward to your new content. You're a wonderful teacher. Well, thank you, Quilter. Charlotte says gradual change is better than total change. Yeah, well, I couldn't handle total change. Take too much of my time. Did you make the Irish wall hanging behind you? It's great. Irish wall hanging.
Is that the?
Oh, you mean the? Oh, you mean the little guy, the gnome with the maple leaf? Yeah, I did. Or the shamrock. Yeah, I did. It's an In the Hoop project from one of the companies.
Telling you to change your political content is like telling me to calm down. That's
where's
Sue
that?
Norfleet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, Lucy, I am honest about politics. Now, of all times, it is not to be quiet about what's going on. If it affects us as Canadians, I'm going to talk about it. But
Yeah, what happens in the U.S. does affect us.
Yes, it does. It has a great influence on us.
Yeah.
So yeah. Telling you to, okay, comment on. Denise says you're only updating us on the facts. Everybody needs to know about the world they are living in. Yeah, I agree. But anyways, I will try though to go back to my roots of when I started this channel, way back when I was young and naive and just a silly boy. And we'll work from there. So anyways, you guys know, but as I said, if you have more suggestions and things, please put them in the comments below. I look at every comment and I make a reply to every comment. The reply may be a heart because there isn't much more I can say about it. Like, you gave me a nice compliment, so I show you I appreciate that. But I am making a point of, and it's taking time to do this, but I'm making a point to let you know that your comments are valuable to me, the nice ones. I will not take responsibility for what I might say to the nasty ones. And I just discovered a new thing on YouTube I didn't know existed. And basically, people can't write comments unless they're subscribed to the channel. Why am I doing that? One, to encourage subscribers. There's probably a bunch of you on. No, you can't be because you're in the content here, so you're subscribers. There's probably a lot of people that watch my videos on a regular basis that have never subscribed. So that's another reason for saying and reminding people to subscribe. But the other thing is it clears out the nuts. Because the nuts, the ones that just, they go through everybody's YouTubes and that and just write snarky comments just to be a pain in the butt. They get their jollies from that. Well, that keeps them out. So I didn't know that that setting existed. Learning something new all the time. Okay, everybody, it's time for us to go. So thank you for your patience with us. Thank you for your contribution to ideas. There are definitely some really great ideas here, and I'm going to run with them. The change will be gradual, but there will be change with that. And yeah, and Walter will be much more involved. Means I may have to stay up later at night because, you know, he's not awake till 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah, I could do long gardening at night.
Yes, you could. Yeah. But you have to learn how to do it first.
Yeah.
How to set it up anyways. And he'll probably be very good at it. That's what kills me, especially in free motion. But anyways, whatever. Okay, so thanks everybody for coming, and we'll see you next week. We're going to say goodbye. Bye.